Hi, greetings. Welcome to another episode of my conversation that I'm having with wonderful contributors to this year's Seeds of Unlimited Success. If you don't know who I am, my name's Vanessa-Mary, and I am a wellbeing coach. I am recording this from Nottingham. And yeah, I'm so happy and grateful to be here. I'm feeling quite chilled today. I'm going to be in conversation with an amazing man. I don't normally make notes. I don't ask questions as such, but I've kind of got a few pointers that I want to make sure that I include into this conversation. So yeah, it's wonderful. And thank you to everyone who gave me feedback for yesterday's live stream. This is where the angelic realm. So if you're not aware, I have intuitive gifts, and I've just been empowered to start sharing those gifts a little bit more. So I'm coming out of my comfort zone to do this, but the angels want to be part of this conversation as well. I've checked with Steve and is okay about that. So we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to introduce Steve Bennett on to the stage here. Steve, let's bring you on. Hey, there you go.
Hiya.
Thank you so much for joining me. So yeah, do you want to introduce yourself and let everybody know where you are calling in from today, please?
Yeah, my name is Steve Bennett. I own Ascend Coaching, and basically I'm up in the sunny realms of North Yorkshire right now, which is I'm just sort of like just at the top of the North Yorkshire moors, just off the coast of Saltburn.
Wow, gosh, I don't know any of those places. I don't know any of those places. I don't get out enough, Steve. I must say that on Sunday, I went for a walk in Derbyshire with some wonderful men and women that I network with. And yeah, maybe there's some things that I didn't think through properly, Steve, like all of the stone walls and me climbing over with my dodgy hip, and the fact that I didn't change my shoes, and then the shoes went right, and then we had to climb up this big hill, and I was like, where am I? Don't look down. So there were some things that I didn't think through. So yeah, when I travel, I do maybe need to be a bit more aware of my surroundings.
Yeah, I would be, yeah.
But yeah,
there's a lot of that up here.
Yes, I'm sure there is. So give me some places to maybe take a walk. I think that walk might have been a bit too long for my mobility, because towards the end I was really starting to feel it. And in all honesty, I had to rest in the afternoon. I have osteoarthritis in my hip joint, so I was resting in the afternoon. But anyway, that's a different story. But yeah, give me some places to walk. So yes, Steve, we're in this conversation today because you are on the program for this year's Seeds of Unlimited Success, which is the Family Business Growth Summit that I'm holding on Saturday, the 17th of May in Nottingham. So obviously you'll be traveling over. But Steve, we've got people traveling from all over the country to be with us in the East Midlands. And I know that you come to the East Midlands quite regularly. So that's not a trip that you're not used to doing. But I am just so happy and grateful to know that we have people traveling from Bath, Bristol, Portsmouth, Norfolk, London, Birmingham. I was speaking to a woman yesterday. She just got to check her diary to make sure she can physically be there. So it's getting exciting in terms of, where people will be coming from. But one of the things that I have made a note of, Steve, and this is credit to you, and I'll share the story in terms of your interest in this event. But I've actually noticed that it's only yourself and another man by the name of Jeff Smith who are actually representing the men in business on our program.
Wow.
Exactly.
Well, you see,
that's what I thought.
And I know Jeff very well, so two great minds think alike.
Great minds think alike. And the thing is, you and I, we met each other, oh gosh, what would have been 2023. When I was really just thinking about the idea, I was getting everything together, and you explained that last year, as much as you wanted to be there, you'd already booked a holiday. So you couldn't be there. So, of course, I came back to you and I said, oh, Steve, I'm doing it again. You was like, yeah, no problem. Count me in.
Yep, that was it, yeah.
Where are the other men? Like, honestly. So let's make sure it's not a women's conference. It's not a women's conference. So yeah, let's make sure that we have some other men in the room. Okay, the program is now fully booked. So, you know, I don't want anybody contacting me after this live stream saying, oh, I can do a talk, I can do this. No, you've missed your opportunity. Steve, he said yes. And also Jeff said yes. Jeff was in the room with us last year. So he was very impressed, you know, really liked the energy and the vibe. He was like, yeah, I really want to be involved in this next year. So that's how it's come about. But I've got some male personality types that I want to quiz you on actually as we go forward. But before I do, please tell us a little bit about yourself in terms of your early years and how you've got started in business.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of like the worrying part for me. It's over 30 years since I set up sort of like my first business. But prior to that, I was always very entrepreneurial, trying to make money here, there, and everywhere. So I went into business with some people to set up a recruitment company, and that sort of like spun off into a bespoke traffic management sort of like recruitment company, and back in 2011-12, I decided to set up sort of like TLS, which was a traffic management recruitment, like labour supply, and over the 6 years that I grew that company, I grew it from sort of like best part of nothing to pushing sort of like £20 million turnover, and that come with all sorts of fantastic opportunities and all sorts of challenges as well. So, you know, prior to that, all the different sort of like things that I did within business gave me the grounding and the understanding of how to grow a business quite quickly and quite successfully. I sold that business in 2019. I also had a sister business running alongside of it that was part of the traffic management industry. And sort of like after COVID, I decided that, you know, I'd had enough of being in these businesses and I needed a new direction. So I sold it all off, sort of like broke the company down, sold it all off, and I became a success coach. I trained in transformative coaching, which was through sort of like recognised through the ICF, and I loved it. It was better than anything that I'd done. So I thought this is the way forward. And before I knew it, when I was telling people what I was doing, I had loads of different people asking me to coach them. And I'd sort of like got a business before I'd set a business up, sort of thing. So it was fantastic, you know, and I've just rolled from there. It's just rolled on. It's all just rolled on from there, really.
But Steve, you know, you are so humble. I love the sentence you said. Oh yeah, it was quite a successful business. 20 million? Like, you know, 20 million, like, come on. So I'm not even anywhere near my first million yet, Steve. You know, when I get close to the first million, I will be like, yes, I'm so excited. So yeah, of course you had people lining up to want to be coached by you. Who wouldn't want to get the knowledge and the wisdom? And again, as we know, what we get from a coach is the shortcuts. Okay, so anybody who's working with a coach, they're making a very smart move because they know this man or this woman has already taken those steps, the things that I'm trying to achieve. They've already worked it out. So that's what a coach provides. That's what a mentor provides. They give you the answers. They give you the shortcuts. They tell you about the challenges and the setbacks that they've had so that maybe you can avoid those things. To me, it makes sense.
It is. That's what it's all about, you know. It at the end of the day, it you know, there's all sorts of things that we could talk about, but you've just hit the nail on the head. It's about wisdom, you know. It's about the fact that if somebody's made the mistakes, why do you want to go make the same mistakes?
Mm-hmm.
You know, That for me, that was always a case. I was quite lucky. I made masses of mistakes in my life. Yeah, in my business career, loads of mistakes. But I'm sat here with no regrets because I took them mistakes as learning curves and learned from them and became better. And if you can become better from making mistakes, that's a great attitude, isn't it?
That's a massive attitude. And I just want to bring in our first card, actually. So we've got Clear Cognizance and Archangel Uriel. Oh, I haven't actually sprayed. I've got my Archangel Uriel spray here. So I do work with Archangel Uriel quite a bit. I'll tell you about that in a minute. The message is pay attention to thoughts and ideas that come to you as they are answered prayers. So again, for me, when you're talking about learning curves, the things that we have been through in our life, they are lessons. They're learning curves, but we can apply them as lessons into our life as well. So, let me just share with Archangel Uriel. I haven't done this for ages, and maybe this message was for me because we know how we vibe in terms of the energy. So what I used to do is I used to go outside with my telephone, headphones in, and I would literally call upon Archangel Uriel, because Archangel Uriel is really good for giving us ideas, particularly in business. If you're stuck in your career, that type of thing, you can call on Archangel Uriel and you'll get a download of ideas. And I used to go out for a walk because everything's amplified when we're outside in nature anyway. And I'd put my headphones on, and it would look like I'm on the telephone to somebody, and I wasn't. I was literally having a conversation with Archangel Uriel. And then when I'd get the download, I'd quickly just record it into my phone. So it could come through quite quickly. It might be a bit of a jumbled mess, but when I got home, I would sit with the message and really kind of resonate and sink in. So, people see you where you are on your journey right now. But for me, if I was to unpick everything and all the ideas, the downloads, I mean, this event, Steve, was a downloaded idea for me. I was just sitting quietly in the kitchen and it came through so quickly. You need to do an event which is for families. That was the message, because at that point I was really focused on working with mums, not even mums in business, like literally mums who wanted to focus on their well-being, because my little one was quite young. And the message came through so quickly, I just wrote it down. And then I got to work. So thank you for that little message that came there. But I really loved what you're saying. So let's talk about family life with yourself, if that's okay. Did you want to share, who's in your world and how have you navigated being a successful businessman and raising a family and being a husband?
So I live with my wife now. The kids are all grown up and sort of like flown the nest as such. So, but the key to navigating it really is finding a balance. I was guilty of not having a balance when I was building the business, and it caused me, quite a lot of issues as I was growing the business and things, and I was blind to it. And one of the key reasons why I turned into the coach was because I wanted to try and help people not make the same mistakes that I did. Because at the end of the day, you're out to become successful in business, and you're out to be whether you're making money or whether you want the stature of having a big business and things like that. At the end of the day, the cold hard reality is you've still got to be happy in your family life. You've still got to be coming home and being the role model, whether you be male or female. You are a role model to your kids, and you've got to be able to sort of like embrace that. And there was part of my life where I didn't do that because I was so engrossed in business. So one of the key things was as I have sort of like aged and got more experience within business, I realized that I'd missed out on quite a lot of things because I was far too focused on business and not on my family life. And the key for me was when I had that highlighted to me, it was like a eureka moment. It was like, oh my God, I really, you know, I've sort of like, I've got to change quite a few things in my life to get this right. And that's what I do now. You know, I have a really fantastic balance. I understand what true happiness is now. Whereas before, I thought that being happy was just making sure that my business was successful. But no, there's a hell of a lot to life now than just, you know, just getting that success on a business.
No, I love that. And thank you for sharing that, Steve, because I definitely resonate with that in terms of how things were for me when I set up my original business, and my older children were teenagers at that point. What I've created now is working around Zenta. He's home educated. And it's one of those things where I'm actually like, I can't remember the other day. It was Greg, actually, the AV man who does the AV for the event. He was like, Vanessa, can we have a chat? I was like, well, I've just got to go to the park first. We've just got to do our afternoon play. And then, yes, I'll check in with you. So I love that flexibility of saying, no, Zenta's first. Okay. And then everything that I do flows around him. So right now, the reason why I've asked yourself and the other speakers to have these appointments at the first part of the day is because Zenta's with his dad. And, you know, I know that I can do like focused business activity up until the point that his dad goes to work. So that's how it works for us. But I love this. So I've written down balance, which you've mentioned. We need to have that balance. And I'm going to talk about actually not just balance in our family life, but balance with our health. And I know that you're big on health, so we'll come back to that part. But I've put balance, bliss, and becoming, because it's not about us. We are beings. Okay. So it's about being yourself, being, you know, living in the essence of the fullness of who you are, not do. And I think this is where we kind of miss the plot, whether we're working for an employer and we're running, you know, we're trying to impress, we're trying to put in the hours. We put in the hours for our business as well, Steve, don't we? I mean, like, anybody who thinks you could just rock up and do a 9 to 5 in business, like, that is not happening. But for me, having that balance, and this is where healthy habits come in, is really important. Did you want to share some of your journey? Because I know that that's been important to you in terms of looking at your health and well-being.
Yeah, I'd let myself go. What people that get to know me realize, although I had a very successful business, I became very down and got depressed and went through quite a sort of like heavy breakdown. And coming out the other side of that, it 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 taught me that you have to look after yourself. You know, you have to be able to sort of like be functioning at 100% to be able to give 100% into anything that you're doing. So to try and get clarity and focus, I had to really dig deep and sort of like understand where my baggage was coming from, where my stresses and strains and the depression and things like that were coming from. You know, I masked it. I were very silly. I was that man who went into his cave and wouldn't talk to anybody, and I masked it with sort of like drugs and alcohol and all sorts of things to try and get rid of it, and learnt the hard way. The only way that you can actually overcome these things is accepting it and embracing it and actually moving on with it as part of your life and understanding how to be better. And that's the key thing for anybody. You know, how do you become better? How do you better your life? And for me, it was about just little changes every day. It was about finding little ways every day, getting up in the morning, be grateful for what I've got, and understanding that I could be better than what I was yesterday. Not to worry about tomorrow, because tomorrow's another day. But I know what happened yesterday, so how do I get better than what I was yesterday? And that's it. That was the key for me. How do I just keep and that sprung into mind. I've done that now for the last 3 years, and I'm a testament of small changes become massive, massive changes in your life. You know, it's a massive transformation that I've been through, and it's nice to be sat being happy and actually, you know, being able to enjoy time talking to you today.
Well, and every time I see you, you always have that demeanor of I'm chilled, I'm calm, nothing is phasing me, I've got this. One thing that came through to me when you were speaking, I mean, I'm a big Oasis fan, but the song Cigarettes and Alcohol. So anyway, that song came through to me. But more importantly, self-reflection. That's what you're talking about. You had to put that mirror up. You had to give yourself a good, hard talking. That's something that most people are running away from. They're running away from themselves. And also the heart. I speak about this on my I've got a WhatsApp group. So anybody who wants free mindset tips, I call it mindset and emotional fitness, get on my WhatsApp group. Okay. At the moment, we're talking about the chakra system. We went through the heart chakra last week. This week, I was talking about the throat chakra. But just think about how many of men and women that we know, Steve, who will not really let down those emotional blockages, or, you know, clear the emotional blockages that are actually having a negative impact. They are stopping them. They are holding them back from areas of their life. I need to bring this card in because it's all about your demeanor and the fact that you said, you know, like you're happy to see how the small things are working out for you. So we have this card, patience. You see it. Sorry,
Yeah.
the lighting might be a bit rubbish. But yeah, Archangel Jafel, your dreams are blooming more rapidly than you realize. Still, they need nurturing and patience. So very interesting that on yesterday's call, I did have the nurture card that came out. And I was explaining to Angela that even for myself, this event, it's in its infancy. It's only the second year. So I'm still nurturing the concept, the audience, you know, and everything that surrounds it. But patience, we need to be patient with ourselves when it comes to our journey. Whatever journey our viewers are on, whether you are a man or a woman in business, or maybe you are listening in because you are working for someone else, you're very serious about your career, we still do need to be patient with ourselves. So I love that. And I noticed, made a note of gratitude as well, Steve, because having a practice of gratitude is important. I must admit, I haven't done my gratitude practice today personally. I don't know what happened. I kind of got up a bit late and I was like, I need to go for a walk. I need to do my journaling. And I didn't do any of it, but I will find time after this call to, you know, because that's part of me kind of making sure that I'm being self-reflective. And gratitude, once we get into the practice of gratitude and appreciation, we can see how quickly things come through for us in our life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brilliant. So before I move on, I'm going to just talk about these personality types. Let me know what resonates with you, please, Steve. I'm not going to read all of them. The reason why I want to bring this into the conversation is because the post that I did to introduce you, I don't know if you had a chance to read it, but I was basically saying, where are the men? Like, I'm not organising a women's conference.
Listen, Vanessa, the man's here.
Main man. The main man. But no, seriously. So I want to just read these off for you because there are different personality traits. It says here, Alpha to Omega. There's 7 male personality traits, actually, Steve. So please let me know what you resonate with. So there's the alpha male, whereby alpha males are strong-willed leaders who love to take charge. Okay, I can read a bit more once you decide. There's the beta male, and beta males are extremely kind and down to earth. Then there's the gamma male, who is the life of the party, apparently. The delta male is responsible and he keeps the world moving. The zeta male is one of a kind and progressive. And Sigma male, this is number 6, is a confident mentor who plays by their own rules. And number 7, the Omega male is a skilled introvert who doesn't need external validation. Any of those resonate with you at all?
I've got to admit, the first 3, the alpha, beta, and gamma. I would say that if you mix them 3 into a pot, you've got me.
That's you. Okay, so alpha male, because I think sometimes people go, oh yeah, we need more alpha males. Okay, but then we need to acknowledge that there are different types of personality. So alpha means that you're brave, high achieving, and social. So I would definitely recognize that within you. The beta male is friendly, gentle, and selfless. Yeah, I see that. And the gamma male, adventurous, fun-loving, and goofy. So yes, let's mix that all together, and that's Steve. For any men who are watching this replay, please leave a comment to let me know what has resonated with you. There's no shame, there's no judgment. It's just a bit of fun. But yeah, it'd be really interesting to find out what has resonated. So, Steve, let's talk about the event now. Okay, so you're on the program. You've got 2 roles on the program, actually. You're going to be doing a masterclass, which is about systems and processes. And then you're going to be on the leadership panel. So, sharing more of your story and highlights from your just brilliant career. So let's talk about the masterclass first. Did you want to tell us a little bit about, just give them a taste of what to expect there, please?
Yeah, I think because it's about family and family success, family businesses and things like that. So I've sort of like turned a few things around, because I do systems and processes can be the most boring thing in the world. But the cold hard reality is that if you do them right, it becomes the most exciting thing in your business, because you can't help but be successful if you're putting the right system and processes in place. So it's like some family businesses are out to build a legacy, and legacy matters to them. So what we're talking about is that if you've got the right systems and processes in it, that protects that legacy. That's what we're trying to do. And you can pass it on from generation to generation, because you've got it set in stone that this is how it works. Why reinvent the wheel? All you can do is just improve the systems. That's it. So there's that, and there's obviously, we've got to get out of letting the day-to-day trials and tribulations of business run you. A lot of people let them own you, and we've got to make sure that we try and get out of that. We've got to try and make sure that at the end of the day, what truly matters with family, and what do we have to do to grow. So the roles, routines, responsibilities, and everything need to be clear within the business, and make sure that everybody understands that. The workshop is going to sort of like give you a way to sort of like put a professional operation within your business if you haven't already got that. And if you have got a professional operation within your business, it's going to help you with tips and techniques of improving that. So that's sort of like where I'm at. It's just got to be strong systems. You've got to understand that a business at the end of the day is literally a load of processes put together. And if you can put them processes in the right order with the right systems, you've got the recipe for success.
Yeah, I hear that. I was just putting on the banner our comment from Dr. Priti Basra, who is a keynote speaker. You've introduced me to her. Wonderful woman in business, busy mum in business. And she said that she agrees with all those 3 character traits that we've mixed up for you there, Steve. But no, I agree with you. I mean, like for myself, I'm building my processes. So even yesterday I did a webinar. I've got a weekly webinar. And I realized that something was missing. I'd forgotten something. I give them a free download, and when I kind of went back and I was like, no, I was supposed to share the link in the comments and then they click into it themselves. So I was like, no, Vanessa, we really need to write this down. So I've gone to myself, step 1, step 2, step 3. So, like standard operating procedures, which, I'm only a micro business at this stage. Oh, Steve, your background, is your wife making you a cup of tea?
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
Let me just put you on mute a minute. Yeah. So I've realized that my standard operating systems I'm kind of developing as I'm going along. And it's one of those things where, for any of us who are, I'm not starting out because, I have got a lot of experience, but in terms of building a business, I don't want to just be a self-employed coach giving myself a job. I want to have a business, grow my brand. In fact, I think they call it, what do they call it now? Oh, I can't remember. There's an actual term for it. A founder, that was it, a founder-led business where, I want to be able to be replicated. It's not just about Vanessa. My brand, Vanessa-Mary, which I'll be doing my speaking, and when I eventually write my book, that will go through that on. But everything that I do through my limited company, which this event will sit there, then it's got to have a system. Otherwise, how will I be able to replicate it? How will I be able to get people on board? So today it was wonderful. I'm going to give her a shout out, actually. Rachel Shiverton, thank you so much. I was on another call, and then I've looked down, and the webinar for next week, the next one, which I can't remember the date, is the 23rd. It's already being advertised because Rachel is running with that. And do you know what, Steve? I didn't know what was going off yesterday because I looked at something and I was like, where did that come from? I'd forgotten that I'm actually working with a virtual assistant who's doing these things. But that is great, though, because that means, we had the chat where I kind of told her what I was doing, and she's running with that. So, yeah. Yeah, it's very, very good. So, Steve, I want to know now about your passion. Yeah, where are you positioning yourself in the market and, the assistance that you're providing?
So basically, like what I said before, it's like a little bit like transforming your business to elevate your life. Simple as that. That's where I'm at. That's my passion. That's sort of like, so success. The way that I see it, success isn't about just numbers on a balance sheet. It's about creating a life and business that's fulfilling for you. It's about being able to sort of like know. I know sort of like from first-hand experience that because I've built the business and sold it on and then faced my own personal battles, that it's all come from sort of like, I've discovered true success through not just about having money, but being able to, it's about like impact and purpose and things like that. It's about freedom to be able to do things. And that's sort of like what I've been pushing forward in my coaching and the way that I've taught to people. I've helped so many different entrepreneurs, business owners, and business leaders sort of like understand that and break through, because, especially male, you were talking about males in business, and a lot of the men in business just do not express their emotions, don't go out and sort of like talk about
Let's not talk about emotions. Did you use the M word?
I know.
Did you actually say, what are emotions though, Steve? Emotions, I hope, What are emotions, Steve? Emotions is energy in motion. So do we not need emotions as we are in business?
But 5-6 years ago, I'd be laughing at this, saying, "What are you talking about?" Well, I totally agree with you now, Vanessa. Yeah, you're right. The fact is that what we do, especially in a male environment, is that we suppress them emotions and we don't talk about them, and they become really big tangled webs within your head. And you've got to try and get them on. You've got to try and get that out. You've got to try and make sure that you understand what you're doing, so that you've got clarity in your goals that you're setting. you know, because everybody works on goals. I don't care what anybody says. We all have different goals that we have through our life, whether it be through life, business, whatever. We all, you know, we're all sort of like in a position where we want to do something. We have a purpose. So you can call it a goal, a purpose, whatever you want to
An
call it.
intention. I like to say
Yeah,
intention.
the simple
Steve,
fact of the matter is you've just got to have the
yeah,
right mindset for it.
thank you to, we do actually have people leaving us comments and they're not showing on this screen, so I can't put them onto the screen, as it were. But thank you. We've actually had some men inputting. So I think we're getting people thinking here. So we've got here Christopher. Christopher has written, thank you, Christopher. Vanessa-Mary Coach, strategic leadership insights await. Oh, at the Growth Summit, exciting opportunity. So he's bigging up the Growth Summit. Thank you so much. And Christopher is a founder himself, and he does digital strategy. Very important. I mean, I'll actually big up my coach in a minute, actually, just to let you know that these things don't just arrive. Okay, so here we go. We've got Adita, who said, Vanessa-Mary Coach, your dedication to bringing diverse voices to the festival is inspiring. Steve's expertise will surely elevate the event. Yeah.
That's very kind. Thank you.
Yeah, brilliant. Might this be a turning point for more male participation? So he's actually, I would say, bigging you up and saying, you know, the fact that you stepped forward and said, no, I'm going to be part of this is going to make other men realize that they are needed in this conversation. And Adita himself helps entrepreneurs and businesses. I can't see the rest of what he does there, but thank you, Adita. We also have Dr. Pretty coming back saying emotional intelligence is one of the real stepping stones for success. Okay. And says here that she says she 100% agrees that with the goals aspect as well, whether you call it a goal or not, you want to do something with your life. And, you know, I'm so grateful for Dr. Pretty for contributing there. Actually, it's come up. I'll put that on the screen. So Dr. Pretty's quotes are showing there, but I couldn't see all of them. But yeah, Dr. Pretty herself, she's explaining how she's turned setbacks and challenges into triumph in her business, you know, going forward. So thank you so much to everybody who's left that comment. I'm sorry I wasn't able to show all of them on the screen. It's very interesting. So Steve, we're going to be wrapping up, but I do need to I know that this last card's for me. You know, these angels, they don't mess about. So the last card, let me just take that comment off. And obviously, and the last thing that we were talking about emotions. And I was just saying that emotions are energy, effectively. Now, the last card that I pulled, oh, Archangel Jezebel twice. Interesting. Okay, I'll have to make a note of that. All right. So this one says, clear your space. This message is definitely for me, Steve. Yeah. I don't know what space you're in. In fact, it sounds like your wife might be doing a bit of cleaning around you. So maybe she got that energy. But this is like, clear your space. Archangel Jezebel, get rid of clutter. Clear the energy around you and use Feng Shui. So actually what it is, I know this message is for me because I have 2 bags here where I did do a big decluttering exercise about a month ago, but I haven't physically moved that out. But I know that the message is also about my desk area downstairs, Steve. No, I wouldn't be able to take a picture and put it onto social media, put it that way. So that was just a bit of fun. But again, you know, I'm laughing about it, but, you know, all of these things do make an impact. So the way how we show up, the way, you know, where we're working, it does impact on our energy and our emotions. So I know that yesterday I was looking for this lead to charge my phone, and I'm picking up papers and then because of that, you know, and I watched this woman and she said, no, all you need to do is tell yourself, I am organized. I am organized. I work in a clean space. And then that will actually motivate you to do something about it. So, yeah, just a bit of fun. But Steve, as we wrap up, is there anything that you wanted to share? I'm so happy and grateful for those who have encouraged others to take a look at what we're doing, to really get behind this message. Oh yeah, just quickly, you will be on the leadership panel, so you will be sharing some more insights. Is there anything that you're wanting to share as we close out at all?
And obviously, I'd like to thank you for involving me with the with the whole event. It's a great opportunity, not just for me, but for everybody to come together and actually be able to express the good and the bad within building businesses. That some people out there are running businesses on their own. They either got a micro business or they're a personal service, and they find it very hard to talk about their sort of like trials and tribulations solely because they're in it on their own and they think that they're on their own. Well, I'm here to say that you're not. There's places and there's things that you can do to be able to get help and advice. I volunteer quite a lot to give free help and advice, and the reason being is because we want people to understand that you don't have to work on your own. There's people like myself who's got proven expertise, personalized approach, and sort of like real results. And I can pass that wisdom on. So come and meet us, come and enjoy the day, and come and really sort of like learn and get inspired for being able to build your business.
Yeah, and also I'm describing it as a festival of collaboration because, the people that you've got in your network, Steve, again, you've introduced me to Dr. Pretty. At that point of putting the program together, I didn't have a keynote speaker for the afternoon. And when I spoke with her, I was like, oh my gosh, she's amazing. She's exactly what I was looking for. I wouldn't have been able to connect with Dr. Pretty without that leverage that you provided there. So it's very important just to let everyone know that we are doing virtual tickets as well. So if you are watching this as an international viewer, or you're too far away from Nottingham and for whatever reason it's not going to make sense for you to be in the room, you will be able to have a live stream ticket. And in that, we are doing speed networking, Steve. Yes. So it means that the people in the room can actually connect with the people. I mean, this is crazy, but let's go for it anyway. But yeah, so there's going to be live stream tickets. I've just got to amend the information page. So the live stream tickets are not showing at the moment. But if you're interested, just send me a message and I can get the link over to you directly. But that's something that I'll be working on today. And of course, we want you in the room. As Angela reminded me yesterday, the benefits of being there is not just the wonderful people and the knowledge and the connections, it's the food. The venue, the food's gorgeous. So no, joking aside, be in the room. I bring the energy. I work with a very professional technical team. So you're going to feel like you're in some kind of concert or something like that. But honestly, please do tune in with us. Keep following these updates. I still have more conversations that I need to, people to bring forward, which I'm excited about. Thank you so much, Steve, not only for being with me today, but for saying yes, for believing in me. I think this is really important when we're in business, that you need people who understand your vision and actually, they will champion you. So I just want to go back to that digital strategy. I'm going to give a shout out to my coach, Rick Courtney, who was on the program last year. He did a fantastic masterclass, but yeah, he has been supporting me with my digital strategy and like making sure that, when I present things and the message that I'm giving out, it all comes together. So we do need to have the right people in our team, whether you see them at the forefront or, they may be in the background. Getting around the right coaches is really important. And you're definitely a coach that people need to know about, Steve. So I'm looking forward to hearing I don't know if I'll be able to join the masterclass myself, Steve, because I will be running a masterclass at the same time. But I'm looking forward to hearing the feedback. And also, I will be listening to your input when it comes to the leadership tips. So thank you so much. All right, I'll let you say your final goodbyes here, Steve.
Listen, thank you for the opportunity, Vanessa, and
No problem.
a massive thank you for everybody who's listened in and who's going to listen in, and I look forward to meeting everybody there.
Yay! Thank you, Steve. All right, so I'm just going to take Steve off the stage while I wrap up. So, like I said, thank you so much for your interest and participation. What we're doing is very important. It's not just about what's happening now. This is about building a strong foundation for the future leaders coming into business. So we do have young people in the room as well. So if you are a younger member in a family and you're inspired by what your mom and dad are doing, or it might be your auntie, your uncle, whoever that is, then please do encourage them to get you a ticket to this event. We had Kate's daughter last year in the room with us as a young girl. And this year she's done a crafts fair. She's been that empowered and she's got the confidence to go out and showcase her mum's crafts in a school fair. So you don't know who you're going to inspire by sending that invitation out. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful weekend and I'll speak to you soon. All of the links for the event will be posted at the platform where you're watching this from. You take care. Bye.